Now we are going to discuss about various IoT applications. So the first one is related with smart transportations in the smart city. So the Aruna and her son Ram are on their way to downtown for an appointment in their car. Now they have to find a suitable parking lot. So the wireless sensor embedded in the parking lot communicating with her smart car help her to direct the car to an open spot in the city. It also initiates the parking fee through an automated way. After parking, the car becomes idle and Aruna and Ram are doing their own business. In the meantime, using the car parking details, the vehicle schedules a mobile mechanic to change the oil while the two are away for the afternoon. So in this way, their time as well as the free time of the car were better utilized by integrating the connected cars with the smart city applications. In a nutshell, in downtown San Francisco, 20 to 30% of all traffic congestion is caused by the people hunting for a parking spot. So the transportation integrated with smart city application is one of the best applications for IoT. The next is the integration of the healthcare with the smart home. So you can understand that nowadays many of the aged people are living isolated at their home and you are concerned about their safety also. By integrating the wireless sensors throughout their house, help to measure the health activity levels, sleeping patterns and the medication schedules of the isolated old aged people, and alerts are generated automatically and alerts will be sent to the healthcare services and authorized family members will be able to provide the immediate attention if there is any abnormal activity is detected. In a nutshell, 40 million adults aged 65 and above will be living alone in the US, Canada and Europe. So by providing the healthcare integrated with a smart home, you will be able to provide the better service for the aged people isolated at their houses. And the next interesting case is related with the mobility and a smart building. So in this case, the energy management is also integrated. Suppose if the supervisor Anna is being pressurized to reduce her company's expenses for the new corporate office, so she has to always speak with the experts and she has to decide to install sensors to automate energy usage according to the building occupancy, people flow, temperature and other ambient conditions to improve the overall efficiency of the building. And we are now saying the building as a green building. So the energy used by commercial and industrial buildings in the US creates nearly 50% of the national emissions of greenhouse gases. So the smart building integrated with the mobility is another interesting use case for the IoT. Another interesting use case that is proposed by Indian Institute of Science under their Robert Bosch Center for Cyber Physical System is integrating the local traffic police department with the fire rescue services and the health management services. So imagine that if there is any severe accident happen in the city and if the information was passed to the fire and rescue team, so the fire and rescue team will immediately rush to the spot and after validating the severity of the accident happened, they will be able to inform to the police department for traffic regulations as well as they will be able to inform to the medical services for the need of medical officers and the paramedical service peoples. So The police department, the health department and the fire rescue departments are three independent departments in the city, but by integrating their IT services through Indian Urban Data Exchange platform with a single or minimal effort, they will be able to offer the services from multiple departments through the APIs specially designed through the IUDX. So this is one of the interesting use cases for the open smart cities of India. So far we have discussed about some interesting use cases to create interest among the IoT and its applications. Now we come to the very important part, that is what is defined as an IoT. So whenever we go for any kind of networking technology, it is better to refer the IEEE definitions. So the IEEE described Internet of Things as a network of items, each embedded with sensors which are connected to the Internet. So you can get much more information from the special report on the Internet of Things issued in the March 2014 document. You can also get much more idea from standards.ieee.org/innovate/IoT, and IEEE P2413 documents gives a complete information about the definition and scope of IoT. The scope of IEEE P2413 is to define an architectural framework addressing descriptions of various IoT domains, definitions of IoT domain abstractions, and identification of commonalities between different IoT domains. So for further information about IoT defined by the IEEE, it is better to explore about these URLs. So in basically the IEEE P2413 defined a three-tier architecture for IoT. In the first layer it is sensing, over which there is a networking and data communication layer, above which the web mobile applications to make use of the IoT services are defined. So this is a three-tier architecture of IoT defined by IEEE. In addition to that, you are also going to explore about the definition of IoT provided by International Telecommunication Union. They are saying that IoT is available anywhere, anytime, by anything and anyone. Interestingly, you can give a new dimension to the IoT, that is anytime connection, any place connections and anything connections. And the ITU Telecommunication Study Group 13 defined IoT as a global infrastructure for the information society, enabling advanced services by interconnecting physical and virtual things based on existing and evolving interoperable information and communication technologies. So far we have discussed about the IEEE and ITU, and the most important thing is the Internet Engineering Task Force IETF provides its own description of IoT along with the definitions for Internet and Think. You can refer the IETF Internet of Things document 2010. The basic idea is that IoT will connect objects around us. It can be electrical, electronic, even non-electrical objects can be connected to provide seamless communication and contextual services provided by them. Development of RFID tags, sensors, actuators, mobile phones make it possible to materialize IoT which interact and cooperate each other to make the service better and accessible anytime from anywhere. So in these connections, we have to discuss about what is Internet and what is Thing in the perspective of IETF. So in the vision of IoT, Internet considers the TCP/IP suite as well as non-TCP/IP suite at the same time, and in the vision of IoT, things are various things such as computers, sensors, people, actuators, refrigerators, TV, vehicle, mobile phone, cloth, food, medicine, books, and anything that is any physical and virtual things can be treated as things. So basically the things are classified as three scopes: the people, machine and the information, but the thing should be identified at least by one unique way of identification for the capability of addressing and communicating with each other and verifying their identities. Therefore, if a thing is able to be identified, then we call it as an object. This slide gives you an idea how the things are get connected and how the communications happen between different things. And next we are going to discuss about the integration of cyber and the physical world. So if you look at in the top, that is the physical world, the sensors, actuators, controls, tags, stickers, consumer electronics, and almost all the gadgets and smart materials will be connected to the cyber world through service-oriented middleware with various IoT applications, services that are provided through the cloud infrastructure. So in this way, you have to integrate the physical world with the cyber world to provide the cyber physical systems, so that the organizer will be able to get more revenue out of the existing infrastructure. So few terminologies that are similar to IoT are the ubiquitous sensor networks, machine-to-machine communications, Internet of Everything, the Cisco's favorite term, Cloud of Things, as well as Web of Things. So these are all more or less similar to IoT, but there is a little bit confusion between, is there any difference between wireless sensor networks and the IoT? Naturally. So the wireless sensor networks typically run low power devices. It will consist of one or more sensors and could be different type of sensors also. Then what is the difference between WSN and IoT? So WSN is basically distributed network of autonomous sensor that monitor physical or environmental conditions such as temperature, sound, pressure, and cooperatively pass their data through the network to a central location. The WSN is built of nodes from a few to several hundreds or even thousands of nodes, where each node is connected to one sensor. The scope of the WSN is the coordinated collection of data. On the other hand, an IoT system scope goes beyond this in a way where smartness can be added to the object so that they can do the work of actuation to achieve a certain goal without human intervention. On the top of that, unique identification of things and their connection to the internet is another necessary feature of IoT that does not pertain to WSN. So in general, WSN can be one part of IoT in that sensors used in an IoT system can be networked to achieve a coordinated result. So I hope WSN is a subset of an IoT. A simple architecture for open IoT services are: the sync node can be your home appliances, home security, environmental sensors; WSN node, health monitoring sensors; the gateway or node can be your Raspberry Pi, Arduino, Nest, routers, smartphones. The IoT services may be provided through smart home automation services, health services, smart energy management services, emergency services, and a few more. So in a day-to-day life, more things can be connected: home and daily life devices, business, public infrastructure, healthcare, and so on. So in general, if you take the people connecting to the things, a man can be embedded with ECC sensor, motion sensor, and through his mobile phone, he can communicate to the internet. All the informations related with that health activities will be pushed into the cloud, and through data analytics, you will be able to do and insights of the data accumulated, and the decision can be taken out of the data accumulated. So with this, now we move on to the very important point, that is the reference model for an IoT. Before moving to the IoT reference model, we will just have a recap of the 7 layers of OSI model for the traditional networks. So just recall that the 7 layers of OSI model: the physical layer in the bottom, followed by data link layer, network layer, transport layer, session layer, presentation and the application in the top, that is layer 7. So each layer has its own functionality. For example, the IP will be in the network layer and the routing is the major functionality of the network layer. In many cases, we will combine the presentation and application layer as a single entity called application layer. And the data link layer will be responsible for the framing. So in a nutshell, we know that the traditional network is following the 7 layers proposed by the OSI model. Now with this in our mind, now we move on to the OSI layered architecture migrated to the IoT. So how are the networks changing? More nodes, more number of connections, migrating from IPv4 to IPv6, adoption of 6 low power WAN, anytime, any place, anything, integration of M2M with IoT by connecting billions of devices, expanding the network capability into a broadband, and a few enhancements like smart networks, data-centric, content-oriented networking, as well as context-aware autonomous systems. So these are all the ways in which the traditional networks migrates to adapt the new changes. So the Cisco recommended the 7-layer architecture for IoT. The bottom layer is nothing but the physical devices and controllers. They are nothing but the things in the IoT. Above which there is a connectivity layer which provides the communication and the processing units. Over the connectivity layer, we have the edge or fog computing that will take care of the data element analysis and transformation. Above the edge computing, we have the storage through data accumulation, over which we have to aggregate and provide access to the data through data abstraction. The top 2 layers are application and collaboration and process. The layer 6 application provides the reporting functionality, data analytics, as well as control over the system. The top layer, that is the layer 7, is nothing but the collaboration and process which involves the people and the business process. So if you look into the picture, it's very clear that from the layer 1 to layer 5, the data is in motion, and above that the data is at rest. So this 7-layer architecture proposed by Cisco is a standard reference architecture or standard reference model for designing your IoT applications. In detail, the layer 1, the physical devices and the device controllers are providing the things connectivity in IoT. IoT devices are capable of doing analog to digital conversion whenever required. They will generate data, and whenever need, they can be queried and it can be controlled over the net. So sensors will act as the source of data and actuators will act as the controlling devices in the end. The next thing is the connectivity, which provide communication and processing units. It's mainly concentrate on the reliable delivery across the networks, implementation of various protocols, switching and routing mechanisms, translation between different protocols to provide horizontal and vertical support in the heterogeneous networks. It also provides security at the network level as well as the analytics based on the network transactions. The third layer is nothing but the edge computing. Mainly the edge or fog computing will include data filtering, data cleanup, data aggregation. You will be able to do the content inspections in a packet level, and you can also combine the network and the data level analytics here. You can design certain rules for the event detections, and based on the rules you can take certain local actions also. So the edge or fog computing will certainly reduce the round trip time, and indirectly it will improve the response time. The connectivity and the edge computing together will play the major role in the campus-wide networks. The next one is the data accumulation, that is the storage level, in which you will have event filtering, event comparison, event joining, event-based rule evolution, event aggregation, northbound, southbound alerting, as well as persistence in the storage. The fifth layer is called the data abstraction layer, in which you will create schema and the views of data in the manner that applications want. You will be able to combine the data from multiple sources to simplify your applications. You will be having the data filtering, selecting, projecting, reformatting the data to serve the client applications, as well as you will be able to reconcile differences in data shape, format, semantics, access protocol, as well as security. The sixth layer is mainly deals with the business intelligence and analytics. So it will be helpful for the reporting and analytics, as well as providing the control over the entire system. Above which the top layer is nothing but the people, the involving people and the business process to get better revenue out of the entire IoT applications. Now you will have a doubt. There are 7 layers. In which layer I have to worry about the security? So the thing is, you have to provide the security in all the 7 layers. That is more important. For example, even in the physical layer, you have to provide your security through silicon, and in the connectivity layer, you have to provide security through your network access, and in the edge or fog computing level, through the protocols and encryption mechanism, you have to provide security. So in almost all the 7 layers, for example, in the layer 6 and 7, you have to provide the security through authentication, authorization, and identity management. Therefore, security is needed throughout the 7 layers. That is more important. So designing an IoT is very easy, but securing an IoT system is a tough task.